welcome students to the series on Introduction to Constitution. This video aims to cover the provision for establishing a uniform civil code in India. This forms a significant part of the fabric of law and justice in India and aims to create a unity within the diversity of India. So, we are going to see what Uniform Civil Code is. So, let us begin by understanding Uniform Civil Code. Uniform Civil Code is a common set of governing rules for all citizens of India, which refers to replace the personal laws based on religious scriptures and customs. These laws are well known for the public law and cover marriage, divorce, or inheritance, adoption, and maintenance. The Uniform Civil Code calls for the formulation of one law for India, which would be applicable to all religious communities in matters such as marriage, divorce, inheritance, adoption. This code comes under Article 44 of the Indian Constitution, which lays down that the state shall endeavour to secure a uniform civil code for its citizens throughout the territory of India. The desirability of a uniform civil code is consistent with human rights and principles of equality, fairness, and justice. So, uniform civil code, why do we need it in India? Because in India, we have so much of diversity in terms of religion, in terms of communities, in terms of geographical regions, that we had to adapt to certain laws and governance of this nation in a way that was particular to every religion of this nation. So once this prospect of having a uniform civil code came into fold, it was agreed upon under the directive principles of state policy to provide for a uniform law that will be applicable to all citizens without hampering their religious beliefs. So, why do we need it? We need it because we have different laws for different religions. There are different codes for religions and a disparity within these laws regarding sexes or regarding their religions. So, Hindu personal laws, for example, have been by and large secularized and modernized by statutory enactments. The Hindu personal laws that also apply to Sikhs, Jains, and Buddhists have been codified in Parliament in 1956. It was split into four parts with Hindu Marriage Act, Hindu Succession Act, Hindu Minority and Guardianship Act, Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act. Similarly, Muslim personal laws were unmodified and traditional in their content and approach, and they had a law, the Shariat law of 1937, which governs the personal matters of Indian Muslims in India. It clearly states that in matters of personal disputes, the state shall not interfere, and a religious authority would pass declarations based on his interpretations of Quran and the Hadith. Even apart from that, Christians and Jews are also governed by different personal laws. So in all, in Indian legislations and Indian judiciary, or when it comes to religious beliefs and religious acts, there is a certain diversity that we find, which is not applicable to all uniformly. So, to overcome such disparity between religions and sexes, the Constitution envisions a uniform civil code. The different personal laws also sometimes promote communalism. It sometimes leads to discrimination at two levels, or firstly between peoples of different religion, secondly between men and women. So there is a gender aspect to it. There is a communal aspect that is promoted through having different laws for different religions. It does not ensure that a person will be guided uh, with the basis of human rights. It having different personal laws results in getting different treatments based on your religious beliefs only. So that is when uniform civil code becomes important. Uniform civil code will provide women with rights to equality and justice in courts, irrespective of their religion, in matters pertaining to marriage, divorce, maintenance, custody of children, inheritance of rights, and adoption. It places Uniform civil code places these set of laws to govern personal matters of all citizens and does not take religion into account. It gives basic rights that are required in your personal life without taking a regard of religion. And it is perhaps the need of the hour to ensure that fundamental and constitutional rights and human rights are practiced without any deference to religious rights. So, for example, in India, Goa has a common family law. Thus, it is the only state in India to have a uniform civil code. And in 1954, Special Marriages Act allowed any citizen to marry outside the realm of special religious personal law. So there are provisions to for people and for citizens to be guided under a different law apart from the religious laws, but the makers of the constitution and Indian people from time to time have felt the need to have a uniform civil code that guides personal laws, that ensures that discrimination between religions, between the genders, between men and women is reduced, and it is not unfair to anyone, and it creates for a just and equitable society without hampering anyone's personal beliefs. A personal belief system should stay out of the realm of Indian judiciary or the governance of this nation. So, in that case, Uniform Civil Code becomes a way in which we can ensure justice, we can ensure equality, we can ensure liberty. And this stands to the ideals that were mentioned in preamble, and directive principles of state policy provide for that, being that it has been envisioned that the role of the state should be a welfare state, and that is how it manages to ensure that through civil uniform civil code one gets the rights that every other citizen have irrespective of their religious beliefs. Thank you, students. This has been a short summary of provisions of directive principles of state policy on uniform civil code, which aims to bring the basis and justice of law and order under the purview of basic human rights. Thank you for your time.